prisoner here. You can subscribe for free, and then if you don't like me, you don't like my comment or my content, absolutely, you can unsubscribe. It's not, you're not locked in. Doesn't cost you anything at all. This is also a true crime video, so I want to put that out there, that nobody under the age of 14 and anybody who has any kind of sensitivity to murder cases, this is an unsolved case. The tragic case should never have happened. I feel so bad for the victims' families. But in no way do I mean to disrespect anybody. So, but please feel free. I mean, you can disagree with me all day long. Just do it in a way that is not mean. I wouldn't do that to anybody. So Lindsay Buziak, her case is still unsolved since 2008, February 2nd. She was born November 2nd, became a realtor, very successful, and her hard work paid off. You know, she had a nice new car, had a nice boyfriend, Jason. She worked for Remax, and I'll tell you what, if anybody knows a successful realtor, you know they work when everybody is off, or they work on holidays or at night. Whenever, you know, people have off, they have to work. Now, Lindsay gets this call on February 1st from a woman who claims to need a home quickly. She needs a large home with a lot of land, and she needs 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and a place separate for her housekeeper. She says she has $1 million that she can spend, and the catch is she needs it within three days. So within 1, 2, 3 days. Big red flag for me. But Lindsay takes on the challenge. She's like, so who referred you to me? Because you mentioned that you were referred to by one of my clients. She says, I don't remember the name. Lindsay, in her notes, it said this woman didn't even give her name. She just called her $1 million in her notes, in her, daily planner. And she thought that was a little bit bizarre, but so she started to make phone calls to her clients. They had recommended this woman, and she described her, and nobody had. That made her very suspicious. And she told her boyfriend, and he was like, yes, that does not sound, something sounds a little bit off there. But she went through it anyway. And, that's a big commission to lose out on when you're 24 years old. She says, look, okay, safe, I promise, I'll just meet him there. It's in the middle of the day. Why would you think anything strange? So she starts going online and looking at properties. She gets, 3 or 4 different properties that fits their desires, their amenities that they need. And the reason that they're moving so quickly is that her husband had accepted a job offer in the Victoria area in Canada. And they needed the house. That's why they needed the house so quickly. Which I found a little strange, because if I was, if I was hiring somebody, I would give them at least a couple weeks, and if they had $1 million in cash, they could afford a hotel for a couple weeks to look for a house, so they would at least get the right one for their family. But 24, those things don't really go through your mind, and you're thinking, oh, I really want this sale. This rear, remove it. Remax will be happy. Person is really legit. Somebody I knew referred them. They can't be that bad. One house specifically, and it is of Saanich, which is a suburb located in Victorian suburb 1702 De Souza Palace. It's a very large property, and it was on a cul-de-sac. So they were going to meet there at 5:30 on February 2nd. She was going to show the couple the house. Now, during that day, what did Lindsay do prior to that? Well, she went into the office, and then she left the office around between 3 and 4, and met her boyfriend Jason for lunch. At that time, Jason was expressing his concern that things were not adding up in his mind, and what he wanted to do was, she wanted to go back to the office and then go to the house and change. So what he thought he would do, he's like, look, I'm going to go back to my office, I'm going to close up for the day, or wrap it up, and I will just send me the address, I will meet you there, and I'm going to pick up Cohen, my friend, on the way. Perfect. So they get out of lunch around 4:20, and she goes to the office, and that is when she says to her secretary, or to the secretary at Remax, she says, I'm really feeling uncomfortable about this, but my boyfriend Jason, he's gonna be there, so I'll be right outside, I should be fine. And the secretary said, she also thought it was a little bit weird. I guess everybody kind of felt a little something was off about this whole sale. But you never know. You never know. I mean, you can't really just make judgments, so Lindsay, as she went home, she changed, got into her BMW, and she got there at around 5:28. She's talking to her boyfriend, Jason, while she's standing there waiting for them to show up out in the driveway, and they walk up the driveway, and she says, I gotta go, my clients are here. And he said, okay, I'll be there, but hold on, I need directions because the GPS is not taking this house, apparently. Another request was that it was a new house that nobody lived in. So that also put her in a position where nobody lived there. Nobody would just unexpectedly drive up the driveway and come home. And it was brand new. So it was probably in a development that wasn't fully developed yet. So apparently he wasn't that far away. And he said, you know what, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. So he pulls up with Cohen, and he's sitting there right outside the house, in front of the driveway, not in the driveway, because he didn't want her to feel like he was imposing. And he looks up and he sees a man at the front door, sticking kind of his head out the window, looking. And it was kind of odd to him, but he was too far away to really see what he looked like. And then the guy disappears. So then Jason decides, it's been 10 minutes. I'm just gonna go across the street because they're probably gonna come out any second now. I don't want to be just sitting here, kind of stalking her. And so he just goes to right across the way, the neighboring street. But he can still see the house. And he waits another 10 minutes. No Lindsay. Then he gets worried. He gets out of the car and he's like, come on. We're going up there. I don't care what she says. They knock on the door because they tried it and alarm bells went off because it was locked. And he said, no way would Lindsay lock this door. No way. She didn't know these people. She had a bad feeling anyway. There's no way she would have locked this door. And that's when he called 911 the first time and said, look, my girlfriend is a realtor and I have a bad feeling. I've just come to the house and the door is locked. he's concerned for her safety at this point, because there's no way, he knows in his heart she would never lock that door. And Cohen's like, look, I'm gonna go to the back and check it out. So he goes to the back and he finds a door open. He opens the door and he sees bloody footprints heading up towards the stairs, or actually heading out of the house, but from the upstairs. So he runs upstairs and he sees Lindsay lying there in a pool of blood, being stabbed 40 times. 40 times. At this point, of course, Jason's in there with Cohen, and he says, you call 911, I'm gonna give her CPR. So he starts administering CPR, but it was too late. Lindsay had been killed. The tiny little 5'3", 99-pound, beautiful woman who had everything going for her was senselessly murdered for no reason whatsoever. Not having an enemy that anybody could find or knew of. She didn't go out. She had a boyfriend she was loyal to. She was a very hard worker. The police originally thought that this was a professional hit, but why? The 40 stab wounds. That is a crime of passion. I mean, that's not a professional hit. A professional hit, you kill them with a gun, silencer, whatever, strangle them, just really quick, and you're out of there. The police also found that her phone was used twice. Once, they think when she was already dead, the killer had used it to make a call to somebody. And then again, before she died, they feel that Lindsay had made a call, trying, last kind of effort to contact anybody. I think that's what I think, that she just had dialed anybody, because it wasn't anybody who had talked to her even in a short period of time. I mean, this person said, well, I haven't talked to her in forever. So the only thing that this person got on their voicemail was a bunch of muffled sounds, but it was quick and it did not lead the police anywhere. So I'm thinking that Lindsay probably just started grabbing her phone, dialing any number that would dial at this point. The killer, they feel also that when Lindsay had gotten the properties and had given the property addresses to the woman that called her the second time on February 2nd, she actually went on MapQuest and plotted their escape route. That's why they went out the back door. And another weird thing was that they actually walked up to the house. They didn't drive up to the house. So when the police canvassed the neighborhood for any witnesses, they found these two people that had seen this couple, a man and the woman, and they could give a sketch of the woman. And they said the man was like 6 foot, maybe a little over, and dark hair and white skin. But they were walking towards that house, towards up the driveway, as they were, they were on a walk or something, which they found very strange, because why, if you're going to look at a house, would you park? The couple didn't say they even saw a car. They don't even have a car to go on, so that means they either were dropped off and had somebody waiting for them somewhere else, like there was there was woods or something behind the house, and they had somebody waiting for them to pick them up, or that's where they parked, because it was just bizarre. They didn't have a car, and no car was ever mentioned in any place I looked. Now, I mean, I searched all there's so many questions that are not answered that even the FBI feels like, and they have a new pair of fresh eyes. There is some information that is out. There is information that they found that they used 2 criminal phones. The first phone was known to be used twice. And that phone was to call Lindsay and set up the appointments and, the places to go. But then there was communication on another criminal line. And 10 of those phone calls have not been, those have been redacted, all those conversations and any kind of messages sent between that phone. Now, the first person that they found to have put his name in the phone, had claimed he was the person that owned the phone, was Rodriguez. I want to say Paulo Rodriguez, I think was his name. Leave now in 2022 that they know the real name of the person who owned that phone, and for some reason they are not giving this information up. And that is really bizarre to me, is that there is certainly somebody out there who knows what happened. That's another thing they found this year, is that they believe it is somebody in the community that could hurt another young woman, or may have hurt another young woman, just maybe wasn't as sloppy this time. I don't know. They also feel that there are so many questions. Why hurt somebody that had no enemies? Where, when, who? Where did they go? Contract killing. Why stab her 40 times? She obviously never expected it, and the police said that she was dead within 3 minutes from the time she entered the house at 5:30, basically to 5:33, and they were gone. So it was that when her boyfriend saw that man, he was probably locking the door and just went up behind her and took her by surprise. Because they never heard a scream. They never heard anything coming from the house at all. They were just, even when he went up to the front door, there was nobody there. Gone. Not even people running away. Just gone. So they had been gone a while. And the last communication with, on the cell phones was about 3 to 4 minutes after she had even gotten in there. So that's where the police got that timeline. They feel that it was somehow a crime of passion now, which is strange because here's this Hispanic speaking woman, her a woman with an accent, and this tall, dark-haired white man that, there's a sketch that's out of this woman, and nobody knows who this tall, dark white man would have been. And obviously nobody recognizes that sketch. So, maybe mistaken identity, like I said before. The most bizarre, senseless killing. And the fact that all of this information they feel is even being kept from the FBI and the police, the local police, and the Maine. For some reason, the Capitol is just keeping this information. I don't know if it's somebody important. I don't know why. That would even be an issue unless somebody in her family or Jason was wrapped up into something that he shouldn't have been in. But I have not read a thing about that. So, that is, that's only guessing because, you're grasping for straws at this point. Here's this tiny little girl who's 24. What could she have done at 24? She went up the ladder too fast. That is definitely a possibility. Maybe previous buyers had bought a house, maybe when she first started, and they didn't like the house, and they couldn't get out of it, and it she may have been on the phone or something and have been thought to have heard or seen something that she should not have seen, and she really didn't. Like, she have seen a drug deal go down, or if she had seen something like that. So maybe it was suspected that she had suspected of seeing something, but she really didn't. Which is, it's just so senseless. And where did the killers go? They had to have another person. Somebody has to know from this community in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It's this person, these people are in your community. You have to have seen something. Somebody knows something. It's too late to come forward. Do it anonymously. Make a call. Canada has their own Crime Stoppers. I will look it up and put it in the description. But if you have any information, I will try to find the sketch and also put that up. If you know who these people are, somebody had to talk. It was so angry and so violent. People are that angry, cannot keep their mouth closed. If it was a contract killer, that's different. But a contract killer wouldn't waste the time and stab her 40 times getting his DNA and blood all over the place. I mean, that just would cause a mess, and he knew that. That doesn't make any sense. Somebody who did this for a living would know how to kill somebody quickly without making a big mess. I mean, so just the prepaid phones I went over, there was 2 of them, and they do believe they have in 2021 is when they sent the FBI up there, and they do feel that they are withholding information even from the FBI, that for some reason the Capitol is not being completely honest, and a lot of things have been redacted. 10 phone calls. They feel that they know who was the original owner of the phone. Now, whether he was just somebody who got a phone for somebody else and had no idea what they were going to do with it. But as of February 2nd, 2022, FBI and RCMP have more evidence they're not sharing with the public as of yet. But they do not have enough to make an arrest. So what we need from you, if you're watching this, if you're watching any other YouTuber, if you think mine sucks and you go to somebody else, whatever it is, if you listen to the story, please, if you know of any information, I will leave numbers anonymously. You can call and give them information that may help. The smallest thing may help. You never know if you heard something. Don't be afraid to make a call anonymously. Nobody will know, and you'll save a family, because her father said, even, it was so heartbreaking, he said, every time they tell us that they have new information, we think, oh, they're gonna get him, and it's like her dying all over again. He said, and a reporter asked him, well, why do you keep doing it then? He said, because we have to find out who did this so nobody else gets hurt. These are people living in our community that are dangerous, that might have killed more people. We don't know. This could have been even a beginning of a couple's serial killer. Oops. Couples that kill. This could have been their first one. Young girl, realtor, easy. And then they're just getting better and better. Just a speculation, just saying. There's many. I'd love to hear your theories in the comments. And I may be crazy, but my intuition isn't really telling me anything, because they have really kept a lot of information away from the public. couple months ago, there's still nothing. They have more information, but not enough to make an arrest. So that means they must be getting closer. So one of two things. They're hoping somebody comes forward with that information, so they don't want to put anything out there to have the people run. Or they don't want to, maybe give out too much. So, people like to call in and they like to say, because it's such a, high profile case. For some reason people like to do that. I don't know why. But if you have any information, do not, if the smallest thing, do not hold back. Let the police know they are looking for that little bit of information. I do believe, my intuition does tell me that they are close to something, but they're missing just enough information to really seal the deal. Because if they're gonna find them and go after them and arrest them, they're gonna want to make sure it sticks. They don't want to indict somebody and then be like, oh, there's not enough evidence here to convict them. So I hope you have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. A wonderful evening, wonderful morning, depending where you are in the world. And I'm glad I got back up online, even though it's kind of high, but oh well. So I'm just gonna pluck the negative energy out of you. Pluck. And just positive. But just think positive. And have a great night. Have a great day tomorrow. Wherever you are in the world, it may have even already started. But I hope you enjoy this. And if you have any information, please come forward and help this poor family. And bring the killers to justice, because they're still free and they shouldn't be. So, thank you for subscribing.